Alright, I'm seeing my movie be a ba. Now I'm for Mega TV and platform with Esso Yankopon. Ishla papa any a baby I'm support am de my platform with Esso. Now I was seeing na say Electoral Commission at the Ababontin. Say Okaki Central any some constituency be more quiet rerun and I say or more by rerun Okaki Central more by rerun election. Efa the results are ene isi no kiremu a obi di ahye obi de nsu abon obi di atete obi di ahira na Ghana for bisa se enti this electoral commission da ben ena obeye competent da ben ena ma mi Jean Mensah ene Bosman yaw Asare Samuel Tete Sirigbo Kwaku ene sa ankofo no a Ghana ye taxpayers money ye yisi a intua tax I the momo da ben enankofo omobeye de ombeye competent because clearly no modwuma aye once in a what once in a 4 years 1 year like more 4 years in a modwuma aye just 1 year pe enti esiden enamo Ghana for die adwuma hye monsa se munye we na muntimi nye sana 2020 election ma mi Jean Mensah no declare no papa ayesa akwada se bi o twen so henu nim di oye obunse o transfer na papa o transfer na papa otimi yesa na wati paper na wati book no sa pepepe ena Jean Mensah ene Bosman ya Asare Samuel Tete no Sirigbo Kwaku sa ankofo no sa pepepe ena mo ena so kwa sa kwon we ya so enti da ben since when ena mo be competent enough in fact if we there very soon obeko fie what I say very soon obeko fie because we share a near embarrassment any car what the Ghana afaso or the Ghana form chese a near state embezzlement eka debt sound of more printing papers almost papers you know the icon of East special voting the icon Eastern region the Western region no unkofobin mate atemper with they have been tempered with so entino omuntimi nya gise san kwhye no eno mo san kwhye no mekai voter region so bibi se serial numbers ne we ne was ne ntali bidie different bisu ena ono so omukotwa agya tum no mo hye no ne nyina no ehefo sika timamfo me no wa wo hwe me no awoye Ghana ni me no yisika ena ejedam sara enti yetimi ye would training me where we have a training electoral commissioners ye the first edit training enti me bisa say electoral commission way how did they started and I say how did they come into existence a sign a year crowd mo ebeji ebebo mo ho safo hini se mo ye electoral commission odwe ho awon ti ase enti Samuel Tete oni ma mi Jean Mensah Bosman ya Asare no Sirigbo Kwaku mo ye very disgraceful to Ghana's democracy and the electoral commission mo na mudi animu mo ye very disgrace to the commission because idea was mo ye mo nye mi wa yetia musika na modi asem ne nam court ni hia ena na modi you see it is very 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 sad say Ghana no sebi nkofo binum sori no munya akonya na omodi oman no ajapade ego atopre anyway yenko na yenkoti sanse mu emfa embrade koba medina kanyina ebeto aso Yakopon ehira yemfa credit na ema TV3 yes I think the TV3 omo na mo boya conversation we yensa etimi eka bi yenkoti yensa no from koba ebeto aso.
Today, what's the full consequential effect of what we saw?
Okay, the effect simply is that the declaration announced by the EC on the 9th of December stands.
That Ebi Bright is MP elect?
That's right. It stands.
But the Mandamus application is still alive and active.
The Mandamus application, I have a copy here. So thankfully we can look at it. Now, if you read affidavit in support of Charles Forson's mandamus application to the court. And it's an ex parte application. It says essentially that there was no collation in Tema Central, which is a big lie. In fact, he went to court to perjure himself. Now, he did this. First, he wrote to the Electoral Commission in his capacity as a parliamentary candidate, and he narrated these facts. This letter is dated, interesting, he didn't date his letter to the EC, but this is a copy attached to his application to the court.
Right, we have a soft copy, we'll put that on the screen.
Yes, now, he says, I wish to bring to your attention the following infractions, incidents, and occurrences during the collation stages of the process. 1. Collation of the pink sheets began at about 11 p.m. with the presidential and ran smoothly. However, when the exercise was completed at about 4 a.m. on Sunday, the NDCSI asked for recollation as they have a different total of which the EC obliged. The recollation of the presidential pink sheets were done at around 9 a.m. Sunday. At around 9:30 a.m., all parties agreed for the kickstart of the parliamentary collation. Before the process could begin, thugs from the NDC broke into the center and disrupted the whole program. This is also another fabrication.
Right.
Now, if you get to his point 10, he said the collation process was halted when the NDC tried forcing the EC to declare their candidate as the winner, despite having 2 polling stations pink sheets remaining. This is also another fabrication. Now, in his affidavit to the court, filed on 17th December 2024, he says the following, as part of, it deposed to a long set of facts, but let me quote the essential parts. Paragraph 7, that in accordance with respondents' constitutional mandate, parliamentary elections were conducted on December 7, 2024, in the 276 constituencies across the nation, including the Tema Central constituency of the Greater Accra region. That polls were successfully conducted in all the 148 polling stations of the Tema Central constituency, and results were announced and declared in all the polling stations, and same were forwarded to the returning officer. That in accordance with law, collation of election results commenced on 8th December 2024 at the Constituency Collation Center. It's also another falsity, because collation began immediately the polling station elections were concluded. And results announced at the polling stations and pink sheets transmitted to the collation center at Chemu on the 9th of the 7th. So collation didn't start on the 8th, as he claimed in the affidavit.
I see.
Then, that while collation was ongoing, some young men and thugs entered the collation center, engaging in various acts of violence and threats which disrupted the collation process. Then he says 16, that I'm advised by counsel and believe same to be true, that only the returning officer by law can collate, announce results, and declare winners. Yet, at the Tema Central Collation Center, it was the Metro Director that did the collation. Now, paragraph 14 says, following the events narrated above, the collation was moved to the Regional Collation Center on 9 December 2024 for collation to continue. That after a few days, I was informed by the respondent to report at the police training school, Tesano in Accra, with the collation of the results, but I was later informed by the respondent that the collation could not continue. Now, paragraph 17 says that no collation has been done in the Tema Central constituency as required by law. This is also another falsity. Because in Tema Central, we actually did collation, like his letter to the EC narrated. When we began the collation on the 9th of the 7th, when polls closed and results were announced at the respective polling stations, pink sheets were transmitted for collation to comments at Chemu. He brought people to disrupt the process because they are lost. And to the extent that the police had to throw in tear gas to bring the ensuing melee under control. Yeah. That was when the decision was taken by the police that continuation of the collation be moved to their premises at the Tema Regional Police Command. As I had earlier indicated, the circumstances under which the pink sheets, the ballot boxes were transmitted or moved from the Chemu Collation Center to the Police Regional Administration in Tema was something that we objected to because we don't know who followed those ballot boxes. Now, when we got to the Tema,
was it the one that they were going to use a private vehicle instead of the Electoral Commission's official vehicle?
Exactly, and I'll tell you, when we got to Tema Regional Police Command premises to continue with the collation, we discovered that, for instance, one pink sheet we couldn't find it. Mm-hmm. That's a parliamentary pink sheet. Ofosu-Hini had to go back to the office to go and bring that particular pink sheet. What was the pink sheet doing in the office of Ofosu-Hini? Because pink sheets are supposed to be put together, put in a ballot box, sealed before you transmit. It was one of the issues that we took against him. Mm. We also insisted that he is not the designated returning officer for Tema Central. So he should allow the accredited officer, who is Mr. Akwesi Brobe, as the returning officer pursuant to Regulation 2.3 of CI 127 to do his duty under law. He will not permit him.
So who is the person who did this declaration? What we are showing on the TV now, who is this?
This is the returning officer from Tema West. And if you recall the petition from Ofosu-Hini to his principals in Greater Accra, he said that he directed this chap to do the declaration because he did so under duress. As for the issue under duress, I will come to that. Mm-hmm. Now, after the collation, we objected to the admission of 2 pink sheets. We objected because they were fabricated pink sheets. Fabricated in the sense that the contents on the original were markedly different from the contents on the duplicates we were given. This was the source of the discord. Mm-hmm. MPP came with Titus Glover, regional minister, came with other office, came with their constituency chairperson, Charles Boateng. The candidate himself was there, Charles Forsen, mm-hmm. and a host of others that I'm not able to tell their positions.
Right.
So when they keep saying NDC came there with national officers, they also came with national officers, including the sitting regional minister. That they had issue with the Titus Glover, that go to your office, you have work to do, don't come and sit here and waste your precious time. Mm-hmm. We had that banter, but it was a friendly banter.
Right.
But they keep refusing point to that fact that they also came with officials from the party. Now, so we disagreed to those 2 pink sheets. Why? Because I discovered that they were written ex post facto the declaration of polling station results. So Ofosu-Hini was compelled to invite these 2 presiding officers. They came to admit that yes, indeed, when we close, one said, when we close, we were under pressure. So it was when I got to the office that I was reminded to complete the pink sheets. Because the duplicate that they gave to me contained no name, no signature, no year of elections held, and no time of close of elections, as required by a law, Regulation 39, Sub-Regulation 3 of CI 127.
It was only the results that were...
It was only the results, and the figures were different. You understand?
And there was no signature of the returning officer?
No, but on the original that they wanted us to adopt or agree to, had all these details. So we said, nada, it won't go in. The second one had similar infraction. Again, that presiding officer was also invited. And mind you, it was Ofosu-Hini who was calling these presiding officers to the collation table. He also came to admit that, yes, it was Ofosu-Hini who asked him to complete the pink sheet in the office. All these facts he has refused to disclose. And they are captured on video. at the collation center at Tema Regional Police Command.
I see.
So we said, and these two pink sheets favored the MPP candidate. So how do I, me as a lawyer, I should allow you to smuggle in a material that will hurt the interest of my candidate? Then what sort of lawyer am I? So I said, never. Even if we take it to the Supreme Court, never would these two pink sheets make it. Because we had issues with 18 pink sheets. 18. Some were, calculation, miscalculation. No, we allowed them to regularize all those. These are facts he has refused to disclose so far. But for the two, we said never. And we had won the elections. Because if you allow those two, then they beat you. So how would you be fabricating pink sheets in an office with results that will hurt the interest of my party? And when you resist this, they say you brought somebody under duress. We were surrounded by a phalanx of policemen in uniform, in anti-riot control gap, and with guns and all. They provided security. But Ofosuhini insisted. The Metro Director, who is not a returning officer, he insisted that these pink sheets must be admitted. That has always been his position. That was the source of the antagonism. You understand? He didn't say that, okay, then let me declare the results. Whoever has aggrieved should take it to court. He was insisting because he caused the fabrication of those pink sheets.
I see.
You understand?
Right.
So, essentially, this was what happened in Tema Central.
And for Okaikwe Central, I know you have an idea of how things played out there as well.
Okaikwe Central too had issues. What were the issues? According to Baba Sadiq, they discovered that as many as 31 pink sheets were also fabricated. Why? Because the calligraphy of the handwriting came from the same hand. The nature of the handwriting, because handwriting is
31 different pink sheets.
31 different pink sheets.
31 different
according to Baba Sadiq, the handwriting, and Sam George, the handwritings came from the same hand. Because you see, handwriting, handwritings are peculiar.
Yes.
It's like people can, in a way, change the handwritings, but essentially,
but there are different returning officers for different polling stations.
That's right.
There cannot be
so if you have 31 polling stations with contents emanating from a calligraphic imprint that appears to come from the same person, then you have issues.
But the EC admitted this polling station results on Saturday.
Yes, this were if a week ago, if you remember, these were the things we were resisting at the police command, at the EC regional office. For instance, I said, even pursuant to the court order that's been panned, the court says go and do recollation. Recollation means retabulate. Ofosuhini won't have it. You saw me on the video. He won't have it.
Yeah.
Court says go and retabulate, go and recollate. You say you won't do recollation. You want to continue from where you left off. So I ask you, where did you leave off? Whatever you claim you had left off, you had petitioned your principals in Accra and said it was a process that was fraught with irregularities. So he actually used the language that it should be annulled. Then they give you the opportunity, then you come and tell me that where we were, those two pensions that we were resisting, those are the pensions you want to add. In going back, because you see, they had also fabricated some. So the conduct, today I want to speak to conduct of public officers. When you are a public officer, that is just be a public officer. If you want to be partial, if you don't want to be neutral, if you don't want to be a public officer, leave the job. Go and be a party executive and come and do party work. Be a party full soldier. Let everybody know that you are a party full soldier. Or be a farmer like my brother who is now a businessman. You are a businessman as well.
Okay.
But to be wearing EC jacket, when it's used them, then they quote the Constitution and says that in the performance of their functions, they are independent. But in your utterances, you are not portraying that independence. You are portraying bias. When you wear EC jacket, that should portray you as a neutral, independent operator. Your comments do not reflect the content of the garb you put on.
So, but why did the trial judge in the High Court, that's the first case when the mandamus was heard last week Friday,
yes,
why did he not give the NDC a hearing?
That is a question for the gods to answer.
I'm asking you.
You heard the judge, the Supreme Court, the president of the panel, said that to allow Eduji to speak in his capacity as a friend of the court was not coterminous to giving him the opportunity to represent his clients. The two standings were markedly different.
And the trial judge thought that because Eduji had spoken,
and the Supreme Court did something very important. They noted that in the ruling of the court, or in the court proceedings brought before them, they noted that the judge actually recorded Eduji as a friend of the court. That was his undoing. That was the judge's undoing in this matter. That was where the Supreme Court nailed him.
And if he's a friend of the court, then
I can also appear as a friend of the court. But he was supposing to him that we are here on merit. We will have an application before you.
But I think there was an application for joinder.
Yes. Yes. So the judge indicated that yes, I have been informed.
In the case where there was an application for joinder,
yes,
rightly before the judge,
yeah,
he couldn't have come as an amicus.
Exactly. So that's why the Supreme Court got him.
Judge record him as a friend of the court.
That is what I.
Because you see, the application before him, that's Gary Maku's application. His clients were not named as parties.
They came as party. But as being a proactive lawyer, when you hear things like that, you can actually, because you see, the notice, when he says something is on notice to you, is to give you notice. So you can take proactive steps. That I hear there's an ex parte application, but indeed, Bega actually said that in matters such as this, even the court, Suomotu, ought to have directed that let the application ex parte be actually served.
An important history fact. Do you remember the 2008 election? MPP went ex parte
on one Sunday.
One Sunday. So the NDC got wind of it and we went to the court. Hey, NDC has not gone there. I thought you wanted court.
You know, so these are serious matters. Let me
a quick input from
okay. Yes. It is an addition to the court procedure that ought to inform all courts. In matters like this, it is important that the Judge Somoto ought to have made an order for them to come on notice. And it happens most of the time when you see that there is an interest in the case that is not represented in the matter pursuant to the application.
It's only fair.
It wasn't fair. And by law, or the author, that, oh, please, can you come on notice on this one? So that the other party will also be heard. If you came as party, then the explanation is that even the EC, who was a defendant in that matter, a respondent in that matter, had not been served. You see, and in fact,
AC said they are not opposed. They were playing along.
They had not been served if it was an ex-party application.
But they indicated that they were not opposed to it.
But if it was an ex-party application, so to speak, then one would say that the EC would not be served in an ex-party application. Nevertheless, the judge ought to have directed that you come on notice. And in any case, Madamu's application will not be ripe until they have been served with written communication that you have reneged on this statutory duty and you are by law required to do, and the public institution fails to respond to your warning. It is then that Mandamu's application become ripe. Right. I don't know whether on record all such communication had been shown.
Now, in addition to what
ade a ekoso wɔ Ghana no odwe ho wo di ase akufado kwa wokɔ no de eye pa se odi bomia ku position eye pa se enkofo binom omo adwuma beba wie nkanti saa nkoman wi sebi and we are sitting on the timing bomb because 2014, 2015, 2013, 2012, we had people, so-called people in MPP. They were lamenting, commenting, speaking vehemently, telling Ghanaians, say, Niema Nkoye, and Niema say, and this is for Antoto Niema ye. Oma say Niema Poto, yet is Ikasu, a come edie, and a Ghana for. And kakran 2016 no ebeduru ho na esi NDC for we am boy for na ebe kire mboso medium obro ampanya pampa Ghana for kire NDC for say ampa ye na tumi ni kitai na ye dane di tumi ni kwhye na nado dam kwakufa ni MPP ensema ene look at what we are seeing today hwede ekoso and it is so sad. It is very sad. Say ene nneɛma nkɔ yie and ne nyinaa akyi no na Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has the nerve to tell Ghanaians say menyɛ memfa wei tumi ɛmma asimasi memfa mama hama saa asɛm na ɔkae no nkɔfo frɛ no people called him and told him say Nana wasɛm bia wakan it is a threat to Ghana's democracy. So you need to retract it or you need to find some way to what? To correct yourself. It is okay. Election no be really be no. That was the time uncle for frame etnasi catches in ana. It is against our democracy to cry out loud with the saying. Let me tell you, Nana Addo, a human rights lawyer. Enti eba de bi efa humanity ho eba de bi efa nipa abrabọ ho you have to what you have concern no, it must be so deeper than others but this MPP aban and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo thought Ghanaians are mad. Ghanaians are they are stupid, excuse my language. So they took advantage of us and they try to do whatever that they want. What I say? Nti ene mebisa ɛdeɛn ene ekoso ene ahun sɛ MPP mu emu ayi didindin ene MPP mu ayi din MPP mu ayi cool MPP mu ayi lem MPP mu ayi kyesɛ emu ayi fom obi ankasa o ayɛ sɛ wakɔtwe nsɔhwɛ no obragia nsɔhwɛ metwa nsɔhwɛ me pass me na me di first me na me say ewi akyire no na when the first when the second when the third or the 10th position bo sa class wo obeka wa no to na woni na mo saa wo kwa nkofo seresere na mo twetwe o mo ma wo so enti ene ebi na MPP fo aye no ene ebi na MPP fo aye no na chama wontumi ne nan ho na oye I declare nyankopɔn boa ade nchi no hwan bo mi aye hwɛ and do you think say Ghana for agime do you think say Ghana for ye huri enim koso say ye behwa mo bo mi abe president bo mi we na nu ya bo mi a obey vice president no crowd chance bi by chance o enti ye kan the Electoral Commission must do what is expected of them and they must stop all those things. And who I say be mind, they have to stop it because that's 4 constituencies and I say that constituencies now is more have a problem now. We are praying say if it is real run election, fine. Then they should put it to where it's supposed to be. They should put it to where it's supposed to be. Because yempen na debia. You can't tell me it's a Ghana for ako simpi so ako to aba mo MP omo yi MP say you na epeno na odesanichi baby eyeden odesanichi baby chinchim niema because of say omo who say NDC for any presidential and NDC need 184 to form the quorum in parliament, and for that matter omo frustrate omo aye di baby na NDC for enye 2/3 majority. Ukuka no bi ni na wono obisa na 2/3 majority munya mo de beden ombeto toawe. You see, yewra sometimes me dwen hwa menti ase. Me dwen hwa menti ase. John the money Mahama Ghana for ema na kwan ema ne tena so. Anka sambre enwuma bu Ghana ha. Anka Ghana develop. Anka nkofo nwuma so ejina nan so. Anka papa kosi ndum ne bank ne angu. What I say? Anka the bank ne anye de angu da. But because of say ungrateful Ghanaians, some of them, they didn't see what John Dramani Mahama did in 2016, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2013, 2012. Ira Tamos, and Coupon Fanny Crazy, and to NDC Abenfiso. And then Shady Young. And then Ghana has moved forward, moved backwards like 20 years backward. I think so-called MPP led by Nana Danko Kufuor Bawumia. Now, Sadi Wigness, Bawumia is still parading himself to be one of the best economists. Aden, Ibisa se obresono, and this is personal dollar and that's 40 to 4.9, approximately 5 cedis. $1 is to 5 cedis. And then dollar and 14, and it is even hovering around 15. I'm telling you, go and check it. This today, it is hovering around $1 is to 15 cedis, and you are still parading yourself to be one of the best economists. I'm sorry, Abasana, unim dia woye, and you have no idea what I say. And see, Abusia are very sad. The bompa is sebi, Yankupon Buana Mosu Mama Ina, and Yama Makanina. They will be the doings of it, but not just to brag on it. Ombeye adwumani yefo na asem ne yefo na won kwaye se omo kasa ho keke. We are praying say bitimi abasosa median mega mesraw obadna subscribe for latest update for comment to like idumadi di channel for enye bi enhwe no ma miche ba for United States of America occupation mama we bi UK upon you ma make say no bibia hwe negative na occupation memfo we see macrow. Bye bye.